Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about transitions with an Alexander technique perspective. Enjoy. The reason that I want to talk about transitions is because I'm getting ready to go on maternity leave and will sadly have to leave you for a few months to take care of my new baby. Transitions happen in life. For me, it is my pregnancy, and for you, it might be maybe you're moving, or maybe you are celebrating a milestone birthday, or you're just adapting to the changes with the crisis that we're living. And all of those things are considered transitions in life. For me, what has been the greatest tool from the Alexander technique to help me cope and adapt to these transitions is to know that I can sense myself while I'm going through any new change. Oftentimes, we are in a reactive mode when things are happening to us, when we should really be in a reflective mode. If something is happening and you have the awareness to notice yourself while the transition is happening, then you have many, many possibilities that you can choose. The second thing that happens is that I'm able to name the feeling. During transitions, oftentimes we have new feelings. Whatever that is, if you're able to label it, then you have more information and you can connect the sensorial feelings that you are having to that emotion or quality. Number 3, reclaim my support. And reclaiming support might be as simple as remembering to exhale and inhale. It also might be a little more complex, like I'm realizing that I'm stressed out and I've lost my balance. Literally, I'm falling forward, or I feel wobbly in my stance. And in that moment, I can just stop, sense the floor, and return to me before I do anything else. Number 4 is make peace with uncertainty. Because transitions are so difficult sometimes, we forget that it is normal for life to be uncertain, because what we control and what actually happens in life is very different. We control a very minimal amount, and what happens is a huge amount that is uncertainty. So making peace with that is a huge part of transitioning well into any realm of our life. Number 5, being in tune with the ever-changing nature of life. And for me, this might be the ever-changing nature of pregnancy. As I was saying before, one has to come to terms with the fact that every day is going to be different, meaning the baby is going to be growing. I might feel more tired or more energetic, and I have to come to realize that that's part of the process. And that's what I mean when I say being in tune with the ever-changing nature of life. Number 6 is expanding energy versus gathering energy. In the Alexander technique, we learn to find our support and to realize that our support comes from everywhere. And here's where I'm going to remind you about our tensegrity structure. Support comes from everywhere, meaning that this structure can be, for example, in a state of stress here, but there's still the rest that can be allowed to be free, and that freedom may actually be reflected in the place where there was first stress. So when we realize that our support can come from everywhere, nature, family, the floor, our thoughts, our breath, then we have more chances of using our energy in a way that is expansive, that allows us to conquer new goals, But we also then can recognize when it's time to gather our energy and nurture ourselves. In my case, being pregnant, I'm realizing that it's time to gather my energy and nurture myself, because every week it's just becoming harder and harder to make videos because of all the energy and the editing and my desire to give you quality content. And this took me to a place where I realized it's time for me to make a last video before I go on maternity leave, so that people can understand how I'm dealing with that transition and put it to practice in their own life. And my last bit of advice is awareness and curiosity versus blame and shame. The Alexander technique has helped me expand my awareness and curiosity for any given moment versus having the habit of blaming and shaming when something happens that is not to my expectation or my liking. That is not useful. Blaming and shaming can only take us to more blaming and shaming, but when we are aware that there are other choices around us, if we care to stop and notice, then awareness and curiosity can replace these two other habitual patterns, and truly it's a practice. So if you don't get it right the first time or the second or the third, you always have the next moment. So I'm going to leave you with this. Transitions are normal. You are going through a transition, adapting to the crisis that we're living in, and the truth is that we are built to learn to adapt and to be resilient in these moments. I hope that these few tips have helped you understand how I have been focusing my transition of pregnancy and how you can apply it to your own life. And I look forward to seeing you in the fall. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all my videos. And please leave me some comments. I might take a peek even on maternity leave. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Bye.